Controller still works, that's a positive. And how long ago did I play this last? Month. More than a month. Must be a month and a bit. So just a small break. I did a 5-hour dash and then just have not had the opportunity to finish it, but here we are. We're back in business. Finish it. I don't know what number playthrough this is for me of Silent Hill 2, but it's got to be fourth, maybe. But I've never beat these final two bosses on hard, so we're going to see how poorly that turns out, basically. Alrighty. Can see and hear me, I hope. Just bear me. I just got to get back into the swing of things, really. Just make sure I remember the controls that I set for myself. Okay. Oh, that's what I should do, actually. There we go. Okay. So we've just beaten Eddie, and we are on our way to the final section of this game, which is the hotel. And since we're playing on hard difficulty, I think I'm going to have to contend with some altered boat controls. I just really like this sequence. Sort of, you can see the light in the distance, beckoning James to his last location. Okay, so it's quick swap. Sorry, I'm still trying to wrangle my controls again. That's map. Wait, what is? Ah, there we go. Forgot I'd assigned it to that. Okay. Get the handgun out. So I got a lot of shotgun and a lot of rifle, so that's good. We'll watch this, the pain unfold very shortly as I struggle to row a boat. So what I really like about this sequence is its sort of incredible oppressiveness. Even in the streets, you at least have some physical landmarks to sort of base yourself off of. But in this one, you have basically nothing. Oh no, so maybe it's only on the PS2 version that the controls are changed in the boat one. It seems to be normal. Let's see. So we're just looking for that light. And what's really interesting is that all of a sudden, the dock is just completely gone. So we have basically no field of reference, no idea of where we are other than this light. So when I first played it, it took me probably an embarrassingly long time to figure out where to go and what to do. But that really added something to the experience. This feeling that I was just completely lost now in this mental fugue. We'd just been through the labyrinth. We'd just seen a lot of horrible things. James had just killed someone, and basically James has now sort of emerged from that experience even worse off mentally than he was before. And that's really clever that the developers sort of choose to offer what feels like a bit of relief, right? So there's no actual combat. Nothing bad can happen to you here, even though it seems like something bad really should happen to you here. This isn't the Resident Evil 4 boat section. This is sort of a relief, but at the same time, it's also a way to sort of get the player to dwell in James's state of mind and his guilt and sadness a bit, which is really cool. It's a really effective way of drawing the player into this particular mental state of James by bookending the labyrinth sequence with uh, a certain period of time where we can have the player connect to James emotionally, because the game places you and James in the same boat, quite literally, uh, because we're giving basically uh, the same. You're putting them in the same physical and mental space, right? That's exactly what this boat sequence is meant to do, is to align James and the player even further. But also, it's not like James is monologuing to you, right? He's not sort of like, "Oh, I can't believe that happened." I hope Mary's here, sort of thing. You don't get any hint as to what he's thinking, but the gameplay setup, the actual movement and rhythm of the gameplay, uh, all dictate to you basically what's going on inside his head, and that's really clever. Yahoo, indeed. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Hasn't changed at all in 3 years. Okay. So you're about to witness what is probably going to be 2 or 3 hours of suffering, as I've elected to play this on hard on the hardest difficulty, basically. So I'm really not looking forward this to the final couple of fights in this game on hard difficulty. Okay, so we sort of have this. I missed that mermaid statue when I first played it as well. It took me ages to figure out where the heck I need to go. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we'll see. I I did do better last time than I thought I was going to as well. Somehow, I really thought I was going to struggle a bit more. So maybe it's just some of that nervousness still. Okay, so we've got our map for the area, and you'll see that we've got a nice little waiting for you over room 312. So this is where we need to go. What's this? It's the room Mary and I stayed in. Mary, are you there? Or maybe. I got a hotel map for guests. Okay. So you see the hotel is basically the game's final, I guess if you want to use classic video games terms, like mega dungeon. So you've got all of this space and 3 floors to explore. I guess 4 actually, because you got the basement. So we'll just start by jimmying some handles as usual. But I really really like this area because you've we've been through Silent Hill a lot previously, and we've suffered a lot, basically, um, of really horrible things. And this place is pristine, right? Like absolutely pristine, and that already should be throwing up some red flags for us, right? Like that's highly irregular. That all of a sudden in Silent Hill of all places, we've got a really nice looking, almost pristine hotel. I mean, it is shrouded in fog, and it is sort of, but everything's weirdly untouched. It's all sort of disturbingly peaceful. And if we know anything about Silent Hill, is that you can't rely on it to be peaceful for very long. So this sort of uneasy there's this uneasy recognition between the player and the game, that even though the environment might look nice, there's something really nasty sort of hidden under the veneer, basically. And that's really clever, because you sort of had this, or we've had this idea in literature since, I don't know, well, for hundreds and hundreds of years, that if something looks nice, it's gonna be nice. Like the exterior quality of the person reflects the internal quality of the person, at least in certain stories. Whereas obviously now that idea has changed a lot, obviously, but it's worth sort of consulting that kind of idea to sort of, not everything that looks good is good, you know. It might sound obvious, but it's just a cool way to frame video game graphics and underlying meaning, is that we're always looking for the subtext. And here, since we've been fed so much subtext about Silent Hill looks nasty and abandoned, why does this place look so nice? That's sort of the question you should be asking, right? Mr. James Sunderland, the videotape you forgot here is being kept on the office on the first floor. Okay, so we need to get into the office somehow. So there's the key. So that's a good start. So we definitely need that. Phone is broken. Damn, I was hoping I could finally call for some help. Lock is broken. Okay, can I... No, that's not a map. Okay. Lock is broken. There's a rectangular indentation. There's a plate in front of the indentation and something's engraved on it. Even so, I still want to believe that she was happy. Play the music box. Yeah. Doesn't sound quite right. Music box broken? Or maybe... Okay, so I need to click some things to fix that box. Alrighty. God, it's been... I love this game so much. It's... it's just so nice to be in this atmosphere. It's just... everything is just cloying and claustrophobic and horrible. Which is why, well, with the news of the remake and all the new Silent Hill games that are coming out, I'm terribly excited. And it's still Konami, of course. So my expectations are tempered, even though I'm also terribly excited and very liable to get caught up in the hype. But I think what's really important to recognize is that no one can take this game sort of away from you. This experience. Why do I enjoy claustrophobia? Yeah, I don't know. I just really love. Maybe it was the lockdown years. I don't know. Maybe I've come to sympathise with the feeling of being trapped indoors in sort of tight and closed spaces for long periods of time. But I just something about horror game atmosphere can be quite relaxing. For me, I don't know if that's a common thing or not, but I don't know. There's something really quite intoxicating about it. I sound crazy, I think, when I say that. I can't hear anything from the receiver. Could the phone line possibly be cut? Okay. Which ones did I try already? Reading room. It's a nice amount of books here. So, like with the news of the remake, I think a lot of people are sort of, and I mean, understandably anxious. What psychological differences might there be in a person who enjoys horror versus someone who doesn't towards films, or towards everything? Okay, well, I don't know. I think speaking as someone who enjoys horror, I think there's sort of more of a willingness to engage with the material, or to take it in good fun. To sort of to enjoy the experience and distance myself from it, right? Like I sort of the understanding that it's not real, but also the willingness to go into it and want it to be real in some sense. Whereas maybe someone who doesn't enjoy horror will sort of be. I, I don't know, if you don't enjoy horror, I'm not sure why you'd be watching it necessarily, but I sort of would get the sense that you're trying to disengage from the actual horror. You're trying not to immerse yourself in it, I think, which is why playing horror games is so interesting, because the entire point of all the good ones anyway is that you're trying to be immersed. And I mean, books and films also will try and do the same thing, right? They'll try and sort of get you wrapped up in the language of the of the film, the architecture of the story, and then once they've sort of got you hooked with probably what is normally in horror films like a key mystery, then they'll start like piling on the scares. And by then, maybe even the person who doesn't like horror is sort of already wrapped up in the story, so they sort of can't look away. Like that's a classic tactic, right? I don't know. Does that answer your question at all? Okay, so nothing of use in the medical books. Doesn't look like anything of particular use. Good thing that this Library just had some handgun bullets on the shelf. I think, I don't know, this space, I mean, it is a hotel, but I do really like the sort of the hotel space as a place that sort of exists really impersonally. It sort of feels almost like a natural construct, I guess. The hotel. But I've got like 3 trains of thought running, so I'm trying to think of anything else I can answer your question with, and then I also wanted to just like reaffirm that like this game, I don't. It was a product of its time, and I think basically everyone agrees with that, right? That with anything horror has been a love-hate relationship with being immersed and understanding if it's not real. Yes, if it's based on a true story, that's a really good point. I think people's relationship with horror that's real is really really curious, right? Like when we're watching those like serial killer documentaries or whatever, like you're going into that with the understanding that you can't distance yourself from the reality of what you're watching or experiencing, because it actually did happen on some level to someone somewhere, and that can be really really difficult. I gotta yeah, like you you watch those for interest, right? There's sort of like always a morbid curiosity that goes into those, like, but there's also some like uncomfortable like voyeurism, right? Like you're sort of engaging with the material specifically to sort of peer into the sort of nasty underbelly of the human mind, as well as in some sense vicariously engage in like real suffering. And sometimes it can be like it's no fault of the viewer, right? Most of the time, like we're watching it out of that morbid curiosity. But what I'm really interested in is what we get out of watching real horror about real horrible people, you know. uh, yeah, like I'm glad that was a coherent explanation. um, but it's really hard to sort of separate. um, I'm not saying that those documentaries shouldn't be watched or people shouldn't watch them, but I think the documentary makers have to be really careful as to what they include and what they don't include. Like I haven't watched that recent Dharma documentary, if that's the one you're talking about, but I've sort of heard that there was some, even just a little bit of controversy around the way that they discussed some of the victims and sort of hyper focused on Dharma himself rather than discussing the victims and what they went through. Uh, Instead, it's sort of we sort of elevated the serial killer as like an archetype, as sort of this mythical being. That was my understanding of what I read around it, but I might be completely wrong. But of the other couple of ones that I've watched, you do sort of get the sense that the victim's not important for some reason. It's the killer themselves, and that's kind of uncomfortable, right? Um, Maybe it's just me, maybe, but it's a bit funny. Fish key. I really like this room. I want to make a video on it soon, so maybe I won't. This room specifically, I want to make a video on it, but maybe I won't sort of say too much about it then. But there is a cool. I'm really interested in why the room is set up like this, and why we've sort of got the fish key on a. I mean, the fish key on a plate. You know, haha, very funny. You can eat the fish key, but I don't know. It's interesting, and the way the fog sort of smothers the outside. That reminds me of some actual mornings that I've experienced. You know, where you wake up and go to the glass sliding door somewhere, and you just sort of see basically nothing. Everything is obscured. You know, classic jump scare.
Did I scare you?
Yeah, you did.
You're here to find Mary, aren't you, James? Well, have you?
No. Is that why you're here too?
She's here, isn't she? If you know where she is, tell me. I'm tired of walking.
I'll respond to that in a sec. I'll just let the cutscene play.
I wish I knew.
But she said it in her letter.
What letter?
Wanna read it? But don't tell Rachel, okay?
Who's Rachel?
She was our nurse. I took it from her locker.
My dearest Laura, I'm leaving this letter with Rachel to give to you after I'm gone. I'm far away now, in a quiet, beautiful place. Please forgive me for not saying goodbye before I left. Be well, Laura. Don't be too hard on the sisters. And Laura, about James, I know you hate him because you think he isn't nice to me, but please give him a chance. It's true he may be a little surly sometimes and he doesn't laugh much, but underneath he's a sweet person. Laura, I love you like my very own daughter. If things had worked out differently, I was hoping to adopt you. Happy 8th birthday, Laura. Your friend forever, Mary.
Laura, how old are you?
I turned 8 last week.
So, Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here? Is this the quiet, beautiful place she was talking about?
Me and Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill. She even showed me all her pictures. She really wanted to come back. That's why I'm here. Maybe you'll get it if you see the other letter. The one Mary... Huh? I must have dropped it.
Laura!
I gotta find it.
Laura!
Yeah, just let the kid run off, James, in this clearly haunted hotel. Whatever, okay. So just one little aside again before I respond to that point about the documentary. I like how that cutscene is interrupted with the letter that you get to read yourself. James doesn't read it to you. You sort of get to dictate the pacing of the letter. I just think stuff like that is really cool, where you get to engage in the cutscene and dictate the pacing of anything in a game that's story focused. I mean, it's done all the time in gameplay, but in the middle of a cutscene, it's just a really cool way to include the player in something rather than sort of have them passively sit there and absorb. So the documentary was focused on Dharma and his life, the child, teen, and everything else. Yeah, so that's interesting that the documentary focused so much on him, and I get that he's probably a highly interesting figure, right? But was there much time dedicated to victims or anything? Probably wasting all these bullets on these enemies. I don't think I need to be using them here, to be honest, but might as well clear them out, I suppose. Okay, what's in here? Can of thinner. Yeah. Man, the way the footsteps after you stepped in the blood follow you around is really... I thought that was very cool, especially for a PlayStation 2 game. It's the little details like that that have made Silent Hill 2 resonate for so long. Okay, well that's really positive then, actually. If there was a couple of episodes worth of content dedicated to victims and families, because yeah, like a lot of the time, I sort of feel like the trap that's fallen into is this sort of really unhealthy fascination with the killer themselves, which is not really very healthy. If we're being honest. Just go in here for a second. I just need to check the map. Okay. Should probably go up the stairs again, I guess. So there's a really cool anecdote about the fact that the Angela boss, the abstract daddy, reappears down there like that. And I think what's most interesting about that is that a lot of people over the years have sort of inserted their own theories as to why that boss reappears here. And some people say, "Oh, that's because Angela is also in the hotel," and it's true. We're gonna meet Angela here again soon. But the fact that they reappear here was basically like, and people have come up with all these great theories, and I love to see it. But at the same time, what's really interesting is that, in fact, none of those theories are necessarily true. I think there was a reply from one of the developers. It might have been Masahiro Ito, maybe the monster designer, when he said, "No, it wasn't anything. We just didn't have time to make another monster." Damn, I was hoping you could sort of hear Mary start to say James. It was pretty messed up. Dharma learned sign language and fell in love with a deaf person. He ended up killing them anyway. Yeah, and that's a fascinating part of I guess, attraction. Is that the right word? Like we're compelled to learn about this like really weird stuff in terms of human behavior, and I think that's why that's why we're drawn to horror as a genre. Like horror as a genre functions as a way to engage with negative, negative emotions, which is, I mean, why I was attracted to video game horror in the first place is because it was dealing with emotions that other video games just don't even want to try and touch, basically, they want to tell serious stories. And I think the reason we're so attached to like exploring horror is because we get, at least in some sense, like a better understanding of ourselves, I guess. I don't want to say all of us are um, you know, like crazy cannibals or whatever, but oh damn it, it's a good thing I saved, I reckon. Okay, it's gonna be harder than I thought to get past these guys. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're sort of that's what, or at least that's what compels me towards horror, is this exploration of negative emotions in an actually safe space. And the reason I love Silent Hill so much, um, excuse me, damn it, it's because of the metaphor. The metaphor of the monster allows us to put our own interpretation, our own spin on it. I messed up big time there, so yeah, good thing I saved it. I think it is. I don't know. How do you feel about horror, Jormy? Do you think that's why we engage with that kind of stuff? Because I think it is meant to be a safe space, and it should always be handled thoughtfully. But it should be a safe space to handle these really sensitive topics, and for people to engage in at least a certain sense of self exploration. Okay, where else can I look? Yeah. Okay, so I have the thinner, don't I? Is that all I have? So I got the room. Can't use that here. Okay, what about up here? Oops. So those two doors are still locked. Oh, can I? Oh, it'll be over this way, won't it? Probably should try the doors not cramped full of monsters in the monster-infested hallway. And I went the wrong way. So So this final area in this game sort of just reintroduced those enemies, just simply out of gameplay necessity. But the strength of Silent Hill 2's story is such that we can still come up with credible solutions as to why they're here. The fact that people can explain that and explain it really well, and have me accept that actually that's the truth, instead of the developers just sort of like mechanical necessity, showcases really the strength of the metaphors contained within. Oh, the fish key might actually be for the cloakroom thing, right? I'm just dumb. Yeah, oops. Yay, fish key, and we get room 204. So now we go down that corridor with the two abstract daddies. I'm not actually sure how we're going to kill them on hard difficulty, because it's easy enough to do on normal, but on hard, they move a bit too fast and they suck up a bit too much damage. So I don't know whether we try and wiggle past them again, or whether we struggle onwards and just try and kill them. I mean, I'll see if I can run past them, because I'd rather not waste my ammo on them, to be perfectly honest with you, because they're really annoying. Nah, he's got too big of a grab. He just sort of like locks onto me as I walk past him. Come on. I don't think it's going to work this time. I think I just got lucky last time, didn't I? Wasting all my healing supplies doing this. Okay, at least I'm in. Employee elevator key, so that's what we needed from here. Great, okay, so we just have to get back out. I do like how this room sort of shows signs of dilapidation. I think it's interesting. So we can go in here. There's a code, and we can solve this code. What's this? Part of the photo has been colored over with a marker. And that's the photo we needed too. So I don't know if you can see, but there's photos of all the cast of the characters in this game. So you can see Laura and Mary and Eddie. I don't know if you can see. It's hard to see anyone else, I think. But is it meant to be James there? Anyway, I just like all these little details. Which again might not mean anything, but the strength of Silent Hill 2's story is damn. Is it if that's truly random, that's impressive that I actually got a word out of that. So I'm glad I've got this recorded. What's the enemy AI like in this game? Not robust. This game came out in 2001, and basically it was sort of like the enemies either see you or they don't. So there's a really rudimentary stealth mechanic. So you've got, I don't know if you watched my first playthrough of this, or you've seen any Silent Hill playthroughs before. But basically you've got a flashlight that you can turn on and off, and a radio that you can turn on and off. So the radio sounds whenever you can hear enemies, and the light will sort of obviously help you see, but can also attract the enemies as well. So you can sort of engage in some level of stealth, but most of the time it's just not worth it because the corridors are too narrow anyway. So you're best to just either run or shoot your way through. Though I could try and sneak my way back out, I suppose. Yes, it is. It is super old, but it's one of my favorite games ever made. So, just because the AI is not robust doesn't mean that the game is not still amazing. I mean, I could play this game all day. I think it's so good. Okay, so here's the question: can I make it back out alive? I'm wondering if I should save the game. Gonna do a sneaky extra save. I did want to not do that because you can only do it sometimes in the PC version. Okay, so I'd forgotten that spawned new enemies in here. But then, yes, suckers. So you can see they're not that hard to fool, you know. But I still have taken some damage. So I don't know whether that was worth it, but I did it. So we need to find one more music box. Where is the employee elevator again? Maybe it's downstairs. Is it? Maybe not. Yeah, I really don't want to have to fight any of those guys if I can avoid it. I just went back into the wrong hallway. Okay. So what else do I have anything else of? So it's just the employee elevator key and the room 312 key. But yeah, it's this one, isn't it? This is one of the best, cleverest moments of the game, I think, this bit here. Because you can sort of see, right, that I'm relatively armed to the teeth. I've got a pistol, I've got a shotgun, I've got a rifle, I've got a big pipe, and I've got a wooden 2x4 that I've been beating things up with. However, there is a weight limit on the elevator. Employee regulations are posted here. Health drink. Memo saying here, nothing interesting. Shelf is empty. So basically, what we have to do is put our items away, I think. Can I read the note though? Oh, it's over here, isn't it? Weight allowance. One person. Shelf is empty. Yes, I'm gonna put some stuff on the shelf. So we don't want to be too weighed down. And here's when I first played it, I sort of like, oh, well, you know, I get that like a lot of the stuff will sort of be weighing me down, you know, but I'm sure I can keep, you know, this kind of stuff. But I'm still too heavy. I'm only carrying a few things. And that's when you sort of start to realize with the sinking feeling that you're going to have to abandon any means of defending yourself. Interesting. The letter from Mary is now blank. So we've got sort of what even brought James here in the first place. So yeah, we can't carry anything, I don't think. I don't even think we can take the flashlight. Put on shelf. Put on shelf. Goodbye, faithful things. Just one man in his green jacket. Okay. Then we go. It's been really interesting playing this on hard, I think. Slightly curious seeing just how and why they sort of toggled up some of the values. See if we can unlock this door first. The first time I played this bit, I think I was playing it dead of night on sort of a shrouded television. So I could it was even harder to see what was going on, even spookier. Got the videotape. It's good, we need that. Can opener beneath the videotape. And the can opener. Woo! Lock is broken and I can't open it. Nothing useful. Okay, I think that's everything in here. So we got what we needed to get. So we could We could go back up, but I think there's still some more stuff to get here. Yeah, so we don't want to go down here just yet. Have a poke around in here first. Schedule book here, the dates from 1 year ago. Rifle shells. Right, because we can't ride the elevator back up, right? Because we're now carrying the videotape and the can opener, so the elevator won't like that. That's funny. I thought there was something to interact with there. Yeah. Is there not anymore in the enhanced edition? Is there not? Because there's normally behind this heater. Oh, maybe it's in the Otherworld version. I'll see. I'll see if it is anyway. So basically, just looking for a way out now, which I believe is down the stairs. I don't think any of the other doors open in here. I think I remember fastidiously checking this when I first played it through. I was like, there's got to be something else in here, but I think it's just the videotape. So I think we just have to make it down here and survive this little corridor here. So just see if we can sneak around. So we want to go to the kitchen, I think. Or we just want to avoid these monsters as well. First aid kits. We needed that key anyway. Too dark to read the map. Nothing happens. I'm just trying to... Yeah, you can see that the AI, I just got to like kite them around. But this one's a bit frustrating. It's also kind of, yeah, it's like hard to grapple with the... Excuse me. So you can sort of see the jagged edges of 2001 sort of peering through, but I also do love the aesthetic, which is really, really strong throughout the entire game. Sort of have this really lovely, nice, lovely bar. The counter. Mary and I shared some nice drinks together at this bar. Sometimes it seems like so long ago, and sometimes it's just as if it were yesterday. So I like how, as well, by interacting with specific objects, by taking the time to soak in the environment, you are given narrative context or character context. Again, it's the interactivity of video games that allows for the environment to shine like it does. I think I missed something. Did I miss something? Yes, the giant can. Can with no label on it. Well, it's a good thing we just got a can opener then, isn't it, James? Probably the easiest, almost the most meaningless puzzle in the entire game. It's like, what on earth is this can opener for? A light bulb in the can. Just more unsettling Silent Hill stuff. I like how he's like, a light bulb can, as if it's possibly the most normal thing in the world to chuck light bulbs in a tin can. Okay, so what we need to do now is make our way back upstairs, and we need to... Can we actually take the elevator? I tried to use the bar key, but it's too dark to find the keyhole. You're serious? Come on, just guess. Just guess, James. Where's the light bulb needs going in? In here. Say it's the easiest puzzle in the game. Can't even figure out where to screw in the light bulb. So I think it is a good thing I killed those two enemies, because otherwise they'd be a pain, wouldn't they? Can I use this? No, I still can't. Okay, I'm just going to have to book it, I think. See if we can make it through safely. Yep. Easy peasy. Don't know what I was worried about. The reason as well, it can't be overstated how much I like the fixed camera angles, because you get some really cool framing of objects, but without making the objects like super obvious. You're sort of thrown, like, you're sort of like, oh, let's just keep moving, and then all of a sudden, you sort of cut to this angle, and you're like, oh, what does the game want me to interact with here? So you engage with the environment more, and that sucks you into the immersion even more, right? Whereas if you're the one fully in control of the camera, that can be really good for like action games, but for horror and stuff that wants to immerse you, um, the best fixed camera angle games really do a good job at immersing you, just basically constantly. Okay, so I need to get back up and get my stuff from the elevator thing. Seriously, guys? Ow. Jerk move. Get everything back. Okay. Wait, so now what do I have? So the key, these music boxes. I have a feeling I've forgotten something obvious. So I got the videotape, which I obviously need. Maybe I need to go back down to the bar. Because I don't think there's anything left up here that I need to get. But I might have forgotten something in the basement, as is typical of me playing this on stream. I always forget something terribly obvious. Oh, the monsters are gone again? Just as quickly as they came? Okay. I really don't want to use any more ammo because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to hold the pipe for a minute. I really am. I'm bracing myself for the last two fights. I've read especially that the last one is brutally difficult if you have not brought enough ammo. So how many rifle things have I... So I got 48 rifle shells, so that's a lot. But is it enough? That is the question. So I need one more music box is basically the thing. So I'm wondering if I missed that downstairs. I think I might... Excuse me, chaps. Is the game sound alright, by the way? Can you hear everything really well, or is it just my voice sort of overpowering everything? Just want to be sure that the game audio is audible. What rooms did I not go into down here? Look at pump and storeroom. Ah, sweet. Thank you. I hope you'll agree then that the sound in this game is really a standout, and has remained a standout quality for over 20 years. Even just the menu noises trigger something quite nice in me. It's really quite delightful. And the fact that, everyone loves to cite that Akira Yamaoka, the sound designer for this game, recorded over 100 different footstep noises specifically for this game. And that's the kind of dedication that reminds you that video games are a human-driven medium. And something that, I don't know. Seeing video games as just being corporate entities is very wrong to me. I like to see the human element come through, and that's the kind of detail that really makes you appreciate just how much work goes into each and every video game and what it means when a video game comes out this good, What the heck did I miss, eh? I'm wondering if I haven't missed anything or if I'm just going crazy here. So I have the one I missed last time, so now I'm missing one that I found easily the first time I played it through. Is it in here? Oh yeah, it's just in here. Apples and pumpkins. No white music box. Sweet. Okay. Now we can solve that puzzle, and we're one step closer to finishing the game. We're almost there. This is such a nice... Excuse me, how are you alive? Come closer. There we go. That was embarrassing. So the steel pipe is a bit slower, but I think it does more damage. So I think it's worth it. Not that I want to go back in there anyway to test it again. But yeah, the game really is an assault on the senses. It's kind of funny commentating over it because when I step into a hallway like this, for instance, it's just like an absolute like assault, like a barrage on the senses. So I subconsciously like raise my voice because I think the sound. I guess that's helpful to you listening as well. But it's just it's funny because I'm sort of trying to commentate over this, and I'm like trying to enjoy the spooky sounds and stuff that really affected me the first time I played it, and still do actually. But yeah, I'm just sort of aware that maybe sometimes I sound like I'm like yelling against the wind or something. It's that effective. Okay, so we got to look at this puzzle. So this is a puzzle on hard difficulty, rectangular indentation. I want to believe she was happy. Okay, so this is all the clues we get on it. I'm gonna see. Oh no, okay, I see. Uh, 'Twas shameful greed did stain her shoe with blood. So Cinderella's shoe, right? That should be obvious. No. So I actually think the Little Mermaid might go there. Beauty, both a blessing and a curse they'll be. So yeah, I think Snow White should go here. So I think I've solved it in one. It's a lot easier on normal, I think. But we'll see if this. Yay! Okay, almost there. I like this music, and I like to imagine James. This is significant to the hotel and James's experience here in some way. That he and Mary, I don't know, danced to this or something one starlit night or something, and this is being called forth from his memory. This particular song because it meant something to him. It's also I quite like it. It's a nice melody. I should have stopped at the piano in the restaurant actually because James says that Mary played the piano, even if he sort of says that, oh, well, she wasn't great, but she tried, sort of thing. So, another nice contextual memory, basically. And I really like that the letter, you're sort of, by this point in the game, the letter that you get from Laura, you're quite skeptical about it because you're sort of like, oh, well, everything's stacking up, all the evidence is stacking up that Mary's not alive. You've seen too much weird crap to think that Mary is still going to be alive when you reach the top of the stairs here and go into room 312 here. But the letter and the detail in that she couldn't have died 3 years ago, that sparks real hope. Like you're sort of like, oh crap, like maybe everything is going to be fine after all. Maybe this is all going to be fine. And that's really, really cool, really effective way to all of a sudden turn the player's cynicism around even just a little bit and give them that light little uplift of hope. Again, connecting them to James really directly. It's just clever. I just have so much adoration for the way this game works. Okay, moment of truth, literally. So we've got a TV, fairly nice room that they stayed in. Looks nice and relaxing, doesn't it? Little old TV. And we're going to play the videotape that we forgot that Maria told us about several hours ago now. probably the most important moment of the game. I think that for most players cements it as
Are you
genius
taping again?
beyond all else.
Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Please promise you'll take me again, James.
And just like that, everything we know about the game, the story, and the character of James is utterly recontextualized, and in a way that makes every individual player walk away with a different interpretation of who James is and why he did what he did. And this moment here is particularly crushing, right? It's hard to escape from the emotive body language that even the PlayStation 2 could get across, and of course this is mainly helped by Yamaoka's brilliant song here, True,
Mary.
but also Guy Seehe's voice acting.
So there you are, James. Did you get the letter? Did you find Mary? If not, let's get going already, okay?
Laura. Mary's gone. She's dead.
No, you're fine. You're getting caught up on it now, on what happens.
That's a lie.
No, that's not true.
She died because she was sick?
No, I killed her.
And the choice of language used, right, is really deliberate. James is taking full admission of
You kill her!
his guilt,
Why'd
right?
you do it? I hate you! I want her back! Give her back to me! I knew it! You didn't care about her! I hate you, James! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! She was always waiting for you. Why? Why?
This moment still I've still got goosebumps, and I've played this through like 5 times, you know, like and watched God knows how many videos on it,
I'm sorry.
and written countless articles. It's still genius.
The Mary you know isn't here.
And I think from here, I mean, like everyone tries to emulate Silent Hill 2 and this particular plot twist,
I'm sorry.
because it's a way that video games can use to create like psychological horror and psychological twist, because that distance we've been keeping from James this entire story finally makes sense, right? Now we know why James has been acting so weird,
Where are you?
because,
I'm waiting for you.
and now we've got
Please come to me.
one final call to adventure here. So the story of Silent Hill 2, basically, to fill you in, since you weren't here last time, is she was very, very sick. That part's true. But basically, she sort of became a burden on him and his life, or at least that's sort of how he saw it. And eventually, he decides to kill her. And some people will argue that's like a mercy killing. And so it's a very, very dark story. Some people will argue that it's like a mercy killing, that he sort of smothered her with a pillow. It's very hard to see in that staticky video. There are versions of it online that someone's like picked apart and fully rendered and given the original sound effects, because there was originally meant to be the sounds of like Mary like screaming and stuff, but that makes it less ambiguous, right? So we sort of, the genius of Silent Hill 2 in essence is that we have this character James, who we're playing as, who's ostensibly meant to be the hero, because in every previous survival horror game, it's the straight white regular looking guy who's the hero, and he's come to the spooky place to save someone. So we're on board, right? We understand that even if he's acting a bit weird, that that's just the way he is. He's got no real other reason to be weird. He's just a bit depressed because his wife has been missing for so long, and finally there's a bit of hope for him, and he's going to get to the other end, and he's going to sort of find peace, right? He's going to find salvation, but he's sort of in a really cruel twist of the knife, right? Instead of finding out that his wife is alive and safe, or at least that his wife died of the disease, instead he finds out that, oh, whoops, I was the one who killed her. And all of a sudden, every player who plays this game has to grapple with the fact that they've played through this game as someone who's killed now 2 human beings, right? So he killed Mary before the events of the game started, and he killed Eddie, right? And what's really interesting about these arguments, which is why Silent Hill 2 is still so popular, is because we get all of these ideas about the games and about our interpretation of James from this moment, all the moments prior, and this moment, and this sort of divides people's opinions, right? I've read convincing arguments that James is like a total villain, and I've also read convincing arguments that he's not to be blamed, and I think my opinion is that he sort of has to share some of the blame, right? Because he was the one ultimately who took her life. He's one of the most interesting characters in video games because we're always slightly at odds with him, yet we always know exactly how he feels. There's like this music, if you can hear it clearly, it's this really horrible droning like sound, and I've heard people describe this song as just like the sound of like depression, basically. And you'll notice that the hotel has now sort of revealed more of its true form, that it's this waterlogged place, and water is a key theme of James's story, basically, that suffocation, water and suffocation, right? Because he killed Mary with the pillow, and all of a sudden James has been reckoning with that guilt for however long ago that he killed her, basically. And the reason why all of the monsters sort of have these, or most of the monsters have these female presenting or have feminine features, like the mannequins with the 2 legs, is because James is like sexually repressed, sexually frustrated. Some people argue that James is guided towards like actual misogyny, but I don't think that's true. I don't think he's necessarily misogynistic. I think he's just suffering from the intense guilt of having killed his wife, and also having to deal with the fact that he's sort of like why the nurses are so sexy, and why, well, I say sexy as they don't have any faces, but like the reason it's so interesting, right? Like that the symbolism lines up perfectly with the story. Like everything is considered, right? Like he went to the hospital and he was sort of tempted by the nurses because he couldn't sleep with Mary. Basically, it's all just it like from this moment, right? Everything sort of fits neatly together and just wraps itself up, but not completely. Like there's still pieces there that you're sort of like, what was James's ultimate motivation? Was it a mercy killing? What did he sort of see that his wife was in so much pain and that he just couldn't let it go on anymore? Or was it like a guilty thing? Was he like, I can't go on with this woman anymore. I have to be free. Like this is bringing me, like that motivation and where exactly it comes from. That's something that not even the different endings of the game can agree on. So there's no way that there'd be any definitive ending or resolution within the fan base, right? It's just I could just talk about this all day. It's so clever.
You must be joking.
I'm very sorry.
But you're a doctor. It's your job to heal people. How can you just let her die?
Please, calm down. As her doctor, I promise I'll do what I can. But there's still no effective treatment for her condition.
How long does she have?
I'm afraid I'm not sure. 3 years at most. Perhaps 6 months. It's impossible to say with certainty.
And like again, it's that ambiguity. Like how long was James there with like looking after Mary? Like was it 6 months? Was it years? It's the fact that all the pieces are there for you to put together, but in your own way. Like the game doesn't care how you resolve this in your mind for yourself. It's all about personal interpretation now. Like what does your James look like, basically? Who is your James Sunderland? And yeah, what does it mean that he's a killer? Like, and one thing that I think really gets confused in the internet era is representing something in a work is not the same as endorsement. Just because we're playing as James Sunderland, it's not a requirement that all of a sudden we don't that we don't like that we hate him. But neither is the game endorsing his actions. Like it's left up to the individual to decide. And I think that's where the best art sort of exists, where there's that right amount of ambiguity that allows ambiguity and metaphor that exists in all the Silent Hill games, that allows the player to place themselves and their own experiences and their own mindset into the game and into the story. And without metaphor, without ambiguity, you've got really straightforward stories that, while they can still be fun and amazingly well written, they just don't have the same personal quality. And it's that personal quality that I think has meant this game has survived for so long. And the reason why everyone is a bit afraid of what it will look like when it's remastered, right? Or when it's remade, because Konami has already sort of messed up an original. They've already messed up a remake a bit, or already messed up the HD collection, right? And so, but I think there's no way to capture the same magic. And I'm not saying they shouldn't try, because they definitely should. It's so hard to play this game these days, but this game, it deserves to be played by a new generation of people. And I think it's a huge shame if the Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't succeed, or any of the new Silent Hill games don't succeed, simply because people are expecting this level. Silent Hill 2 is like in a tier of its own, right? Like this exists just in a field just alone by itself. Basically, there's so few other things that could actually touch it as a really. It's lightning in a bottle, right? It's such a magical experience. It's a product of its time, though. And even if you got the entire team back together, it was a product of the people that they were at the time. And it's just this perfect storm of elements of the psychological horror, of the story, of the graphics, of the gameplay. Like the gameplay was fresh enough at the time, but also established enough that the game could still be engaging, um, but also the game would still be engaging, basically, but also um, people didn't expect the twist because there'd been enough games like that already. That sort of, like the first Silent Hill was about that anyway, about a guy trying to save his little girl, and you can sort of see now that yes, this is indeed what the place really looks like. So just a waterlogged, or is it what it really looks like? But this is what the Otherworld version of it looks like, a waterlogged. Love the wobbly jelly water. And now, basically, my goal is to conserve as much stuff as possible. I'm reaching. We're right up against the end game now. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens to me if I get out of this alive. And here's a really, I think the other keystone scene that people talk about still because it's so beautifully effective, so well written, and so simple. Like a bit clumsy, but like the emotion is there in a way that no other game achieves. I think.
Mama!
I'm gonna stop talking now.
Mama, I was looking for you. Now you're the only one left. Maybe then I can rest. Mama, why are you running away? You're not my mama. It's you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Angela, no.
Thank you for saving me. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened.
No, Angela, that's wrong.
No, don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me. Will you love me? Take care of me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James, give me back that knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself?
Me? No, I'd never kill myself. It's hot as hell in here.
Understatement.
You see it too. For me, it's always like this.
And I mean, that scene there is, I hope you agree, just one of the most emotionally powerful and resonant and meaningful in video game history. Uh, The way it's written, the way it's framed cinematically is just perfect. Like that first person perspective when you're sort of looking up at Angela and she's sneering at you, and then the cut to James sort of staring down. You're framed as the person she's talking to, and then James is the understanding that you can't help her, that nothing you do can help her, basically. And that's incredibly weighty, and I know this character is incredibly meaningful to a huge amount of people, and I think she seems to be the focus of the most anxiety around the remake, is that Bloober Team will misunderstand her and what makes her work as a character so beautifully, and why she in particular has stayed so resonant over the last 20 years is because of that emotional maturity, that the understanding that the player of this game will understand what she's been through without it needing to be spelled out to them. There's just a respect for both the really sensitive topic and the player in all of the Angela scenes. And I think if you were to replay the game yourself or rewatch the stream, you'd sort of see all of Angela's vulnerabilities coming back through. And I know I've paused a lot and just sat and talked a lot this stream, and I apologize for that in retrospect. But the way that Angela sort of trails up the stairs into the fire, into her sort of self-made hell, it's another ambiguous ending, so we get to decide what happens to her. Chances are it probably wasn't good, because she thinks that she deserved it, as her mother's told her that she deserved all this abuse. And I don't know, it's a perfect scene for a perfectly written, tragically written character, and I really hope that out of everything, I think, in Silent Hill 2, and I know that's a lot of things, that is something that Bloober Team doesn't mess up, but I know that's what most people are worried about, them messing up. So I hope, beyond hope, that Angela is still handled with sensitivity and that she can be a touchstone for people suffering still to this day, that she can remain something that a positive representation, or at least an understanding representation of people who've suffered abuse in media, a realistic representation. It's a moment that's hard to top, I think. It's something truly, truly special. And she's probably my favorite character in the game for that reason. The fact that it's so sensitively handled. Okay. So there's been a big fire here. Yeah, I think this is where we find out that... So the hotel has basically actually been destroyed, right? Hang on, I might just wait here. Where's the... Can we go into the employee lounge or no? Wondering if we can or not. Because I think we should be able to find what caused the fire in here. No. That's funny, because I thought there was a little note that said, "I'm Johnny, one hot guy," which I think might have been a reference to The Shining, or at least showed you how the how it worked, how the fire started. Okay, so this is the room before the penultimate fight. There's two big gameplay segments left, and then we're finished. So it's whether or not I can beat these two gameplay segments. So I have a lot of stuff, what I think is a lot of stuff, but I'm fully prepared to suffer big time if it so happens. This is maybe the bit where I realize hard difficulty was a mistake. Here we go. And this song in particular, I think Betrayal, it's so good.
Stop! Leave her alone! Leave us both the hell alone! Ah!
I was weak. That's why I needed you. Needed someone to punish me for my sins. But that's all over now. I know the truth. Now it's time to end this.
Oh god. Okay, I need to go way further away than that. Oh, god. They're much faster on hard than I remembered. They're easy to escape from, but boy, they're going to be hard to shoot at. He takes so long to lower his gun is the problem. Don't think that hit anything. So it's important to count your shots on hard difficulty in the boss fights. I don't even know if I hit him then, to be honest. Oh, that wasn't good enough. Ah, you can just tell. The problem is there's another boss fight after this one. Go, 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 go. Ah! Damn it, James. That's better, that's better. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay, can't afford to waste too many more supplies on this fight, because I know the next one's also going to take supplies, so... Don't shoot, don't shoot. This takes so long. Okay, one more. If I die, then I'll just restart the fight. Which it looks like I'm going to have to do. Oh my god. Suck at this, huh? I think this is the bit where I don't like the fixed camera because they're showing me nothing rather than showing me something. I think that's where I have a dislike for the fixed camera. Is in these very specific instances where it's actually preventing me from seeing where they are. Which in a boss fight is not helpful. Maybe in regular gameplay when you're like, oh, where's the next enemy, you know. But in a boss fight that's basically anti-good game design. In fact, you could even go so far to say it's not good game design. Anti-good game design. What am I talking about? I'm just trying to get them somewhere where I can actually shoot them. Oh no, far out. Wondering, is the rifle really the best weapon? We're gonna go for something a little bit more classic. And we're still gonna stuff it up. I'm really not sure what's more useful, to be honest. It takes the same amount of time to lower the pistol, I think, is the problem. So maybe I do want something with higher damage. Ay, ay, ay. This is painful. This is the painful bit that I was worried about. Ah. I always waste all my resources on this. Far out. Come on. Maybe I should just die here and try again. Come on. Damn it. Yeah, this is where I figure out how difficult it was a mistake for a stream. But it doesn't, they're so fast is the problem. You really have to time it perfectly. Yeah. Grody is the right word for it. In this, it's not normally, but in this boss fight, it's absolutely terrible. Oh! No! That's alright, okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick with the rifle again. This time I know that the gun loading mechanic really is very slow in this boss fight, but in particular. So, long time between shots, but each. I think normally it really adds a sense of strategy to fighting regular enemies, but in a situation like this, that was a terrible start. Okay. Fucking hell. All right. Oh. Whatever. I got so many ampules. Like in a regular fight, it's pretty good because you have to strategize where you're going to stand, like Resident Evil 4. But I think in this one, the room is just slightly too small and the pyramid head's slightly too fast on hard. You can lower your gun faster than that, James. I don't know what made them go slow then, but I'll take it. Ah. Too ambitious there, that's too ambitious. Oh wait. I love this music though, it's such a good final confrontation music, like all of James's guilt coming to a head. I think that sounded like the buzzsaw or something in the background. Nope, that was a bad decision. Everyone could tell that was a bad decision. Except me, apparently. Nope, that was one too many. That was one too many. Ah, I almost escaped that time, but he's got a homing spear. Thanks to everyone watching live. All the people who are not watching live will be able to fast forward this incredibly lengthy fight scene. Come on, I got this. Come on. It really is. I really wish the camera would obey me a bit more in this fight. Just because I think that's what's doing me in. I just can't see where they are exactly, so I don't know exactly when to shoot. Nope. Stuff that up big time. Seriously? Come on. I've got to do 3 things, right? I got to run to the corner. I've got to wait for them to get close enough. I've got to rotate the camera. I got to lift the gun up. Bloody hell. I'm getting a bit better at this, at the flow of this. I do apologize to everyone who's like sitting pained at home, like, oh god, I could have beaten this fight 5 minutes ago. But hard difficulty, they seem to have a lot more health and a lot more stamina and a lot more speed. Okay. Yeah, I am using a controller. It's not going too well though, is it? I think hard difficulty on a keyboard would be an absolute nightmare because that's what I've been doing Silent Hill 3 on. Which may have also been a mistake. Not that this has been... No keyboard sounds. It might just be me furiously mashing the controller, in fact. Either that, or it's the actual game, like, music going on. Ooh. Gameplay. How did that miss? It's like 1 in every like 5 routes. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Just chipping away at them, which I'm afraid is not terribly exciting gameplay for everyone at home. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what made them move so slowly then as well, eh? I'm not liking my resource usage here either, but... Move! Ah, crap. He's just, yeah... lowers the gun like a microsecond too slow. Okay. That doesn't work either. I was hoping to like kite through the middle of them. Gotta stop doing that. I think if there was just one, it would be a lot easier, but it's the fact that I gotta contend with both of them and time both of them together somehow. Okay, that was good. That was good, that one, right? I got both of them. Reload. How much ammo have I got left? Wait, that's not much, is it? No, 22, okay. I do wonder how many rifle shells it takes on hard, because I can tell you on normal they'd already be defeated. My last first aid kit. Was that a good decision? Probably not. Okay, I didn't get greedy that time. Okay, okay. Just stay calm. Nope. They get themselves just a little bit out of sync, eh? And then I have to like re-sync them back up. Ah, shit. That was my own fault, that one, for sure. Yeah, they do. They do die. Can you tell me how long that is on hard difficulty? I know it says no backseating, but I'm more than willing to accept backseating for the final bit of the run here. 30 minutes. Okay, well, I mean, I can do that, but it's not going to be a very exciting stream. So, what's everyone's plans for today then? I'll just jog around. This game has just turned into an auto runner, auto scroller. Very nice. All day. You got an exam coming up there. Oh, nice. All the best for those. Did you see that? Ah. I'm not going to be able to do the final boss fight, but I'd like to hope that like all of my rifle bullets that I've saved literally over the entire game are enough to kill these guys, but because I don't think I've actually successfully fired any shots from the rifle other than an attempt to kill another boss, but I died when I did that, so I don't think I used any rifle bullets at all. Full stop. Far out. Come on. They're just, yeah, they're out of sync. It's really frustrating. Ah. Just gotta try and, yeah, like, kite them like that, maybe. No. Still not good enough. How many bullets do I have left? 15 more shots. Come on, that's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. Mistake, mistake, mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna have no healing items for the final boss. That's not a good thought. Come on. Didn't go far enough. Oh, I did. I did go far enough. Oh, what's even the point? I'm supposed to be counting these bullets. I'm not doing anything like that. My brain is just like, nah, you don't need to do that. You can probably see that this is probably one of those instances where difficulty in a game is majorly hurt by just buffing up the health and or just like changing some integer values behind the scenes, because this isn't a fun fight or a fair fight, right? Like, I hope you can see that this is not anything remotely approaching well balanced. Whereas the rest of the game on hard, I actually thought has been, but I've unloaded like 30-40 rifle shells into these guys, and they're just like, nah. Although if James decides to shoot at their body, maybe. Fuck. Come on. No, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I am so screwed for this final fight. I'm sure at this point you're wondering why the heck there's even another fight after this one. And believe me, at this point I'm also wondering the same thing. Yeah, this is a huge shame because hard difficulty has otherwise been hugely rewarding. But this is just, I'm afraid to say, and I'm saying this still as this is one of my favorite games ever. This is quite dull. Yep, yeah, I'm sort of starting to find a rhythm. I'm just surprised. Ah, damn it. I'm just surprised that rhythm hasn't killed them yet. Because I've shot them quite a few times with the best weapon in the game. Maybe someone in Team Silent slipped, put an extra O on the end of the whatever integer value they were meant to increase it to. I think they just slipped. Couple of extra digits. The problem is I think I could kite them all day without them hitting me, but I am on stream and that's like the most boring possible solution. Yes. 200? Okay, okay. Because I think I read about the stats for this fight like a month and a half ago when I was doing the 5-hour one, and you'd think that the amount of rifle shots I've given them would have been equivalent to about 200 pistol shots. crap. So good at this. Nope. I guess at least if the room was any smaller, I would have already quit. Come on. I think I jinxed myself by agreeing that I'd really got a flow going. Now they're like completely out of sync. Oops. No! Crap! Wrong button. Am I out? I'm out. And they're still not dead. Come on. Come on. Even if I don't finish the game today, even if I can't beat the final boss, I gotta at least say I beat these guys. Okay, not the shotgun. It's not gonna be the shotgun. More jogging. He's really getting his steps in at least, right? Last healing item. I'm so screwed. I can't wait for the remake when it's going to be half an hour of Pyramid Head fighting at the end as well. I love this game. I'm gonna die, probably. And I'm gonna lose all that progress. And if I do, I might stop there for the day. How long? How long do you think it's been? How close to 30 minutes are we? Just gonna jog around for a bit. Give me an estimate. He's still got great energy for someone who hasn't slept in ages. I guess it's the adrenaline rush. That timeout thing is way too long. What's the longest boss fight I've ever done, I wonder? Like the one, not the one that I've like replayed the most, because that would probably be a Demon's Souls boss, I reckon, but the one that's taken me the longest to kill in one attempt. I gotta reckon this has got to be the guy, right? Pyramid Head has got to take the crown, because I can't imagine any other boss taking this long? Though if you have any contradicting evidence, feel free to supply it. God, what gameplay? This is just pure gameplay. I don't think there's anything more gameplay than this. Because they can't get me, right? But I also can't get them, it's the problem. Not like James has brought, like, landmines with him. Come on. They are supposed to die, though, for 30 minutes. So what? Do we have any votes for worst boss fight you ever played? What comes to mind when I say that? We got any interesting bad boss fights out there? Because I'm just gonna keep doing this for a little while anyway. This is gonna be like the dead zone of the stream, basically. In the YouTube, the Black Hand Shadow Mordor. I can't actually remember that fight. There was one fight that was just a quick time event, right? But was that one, or was that a different one? Because was he the? Because there was the tower. I remember that guy because he was like the scarecrow of that game. But what about it was awful? Yeah, that's a bit more soothing. I am so sorry for this, by the way. If anyone is, for the you two who are watching, and then anyone else who is, and then anyone who's watching it and is insisting on sitting through this entire segment, I deeply apologize. I thought hard would be good, and it has been, but this bit sucks. No, I got no real defense for it, even though I still love this game. This bit here just seems slightly poorly designed. I think it would be hilarious if... I don't know, would it be hilarious if all I had to do was shoot it one more time and it died? But I don't want to risk it because I'm really low on health. Look, I'm gonna run for another 5 minutes, so we gotta fill in some space here. Like this is it's turned slightly comical, I think. I'm kind of looking forward to watching this back on like two times speed and just watch him, like James, like hurtling himself around the room, making himself so dizzy. I'm just nervous to stop running because I'm afraid like one of them will stab me, and that'll be it, and it'll be all over, and I will have done this all for nothing. So when the fight ends, let it be said that I love this game, and apparently I'd run around in an empty room for 30 minutes just to play more of it. AKA, yeah, I have a serious problem. Woo! Lap 5. 100. If I had the patience, I would like to add like a lap counter or something in the video editor. Lap 600. He's coming around the bend. Oh yeah, that's not bad form. He's still got another 5k to go. He's hanging on though. What a run. Seeing some excellent form from him. Look at the way he's pumping his arms. Some classic running from James here. And the other commentator pitches in. He's like, I wonder what's energizing him, you know? Could it be the guilt from his dead wife? Maybe it's the guilt from killing Eddie, or maybe he's just really, really trying to burn off some calories here. I don't know, Walt, but we're seeing some really fine form here. The pyramid heads are struggling to keep up. It's a desperate, desperate struggle. You're sort of starting to wonder whether or not any of these titans will tire. Gotta say, the dress code for the Pyramid Head team is really letting them down. I think that's probably what's slowing them down. If they didn't wear that giant helmet, then probably they would have already beaten James, but I'm afraid they've sort of elected to slow themselves down. I'm running. I'm still running. Maybe this is my life now. Maybe my life will just consist of me running James Sunderland in a circle. This is what I was placed on this earth to do, I guess. This is the true psychological horror. I'm trapped. My hands are like fusing themselves to the controller. There's nothing for me anymore. Just the purgatory of running as James. I think there is a way to cheese the fight with some really specific positioning and like kill them with the great knife. So if it doesn't end at I'm going to say the 2:02 mark, so I'm going to run for another 4 minutes because I know that's what the audience is here for. You just want to see him run. Nothing else, no analysis, no nothing. You're just here to see James run. Once that time has elapsed, and if they still haven't died, because I could have sworn that had been about half an hour, right? If that time hasn't elapsed, I might either end the stream here or pause it, see how to cheese the fight, and see if that will actually work. Because I know this is not exciting. This is not the analysis that we come here to see. I hope, unless you are looking for an analysis of James's running animation. I mean, it is pretty good, right? It's better than... If you've ever seen Silent Hill 1's running animation, Harry looks like he has a bit of a problem. But that was on the PlayStation 1, so maybe we can excuse that. Ah, you missed. It's just the fact that they can't, like, we're in this... We've settled into this uneasy stalemate where, like, they can't get me, but I definitely can't get them. Yes. I don't want to like necessarily spring to its defense on this level of difficulty, but on normal and easy, this fight is way less egregious. It's like maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 rifle shots at the most, and it ends. Whereas on hard, yeah, like I'd expect them to rebalance probably the entire game on hard, because this really is not cool. Not cool. What a scathing insult. There's something has gone seriously wrong, I think, in the balancing and design of this fight. It's not engaging. It's just, and the actual method of defeating the boss is really frustrating because the camera doggedly sticks to James's back rather than. It might even be nice if it flipped like around a bit. To sort of illuminate the center of the room all the time, maybe. Or even like a top-down perspective might have been cool. But yeah, this perspective makes the fight almost impossible to successfully play. Exactly, yeah, they're terrified. They'll never escape my scathing remarks. I think it's just like, it's just my love for the game prevents me from hurting it too badly. Even if this is like, it's interesting because any other game I would have like quit long ago, but this is Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2. I can't quit now. I would be curious to know exactly how long I've been doing this fight, though. This feels like half an hour, but has it only been like 15, 20 minutes or something instead? You'd think that the amount of rifle bullets I put into them, though, would have, like, actually hurt them. I think it's safe to say that what people remember Silent Hill 2 for are the emotions, not the gameplay. But it's a shame that the gameplay, in some sense, stops people from getting into it. I wouldn't recommend anyone who's new to the game play it on hard, basically, as you can see. But like, even playing it on easy or normal, it's a shame that people consider the foundational game design present in this game, the survival horror routine, as like purely outdated. And I guess in some sense it is. But there's a reason it was built like that. Like, the story and stuff wouldn't work quite the same otherwise if it didn't have this rhythm to it. You really get a sense of James's sort of forlornness, his mundane, almost making a mundane routine out of all this crazy, horrible stuff that he sees and all the stuff he has to go through. He almost turns it, he turns it into a game, right? Almost, it's just check this door, grab anything that's like not nailed down, use it to solve random esoteric puzzles, Whew. Just give up already, guys. You can't catch me. I'm not exactly sure what else I'm supposed to be doing, though. Like... Oh, crap. Like, if there's any... I hate it when it doesn't lock on. Maybe I'll turn this bit into a musical montage, maybe. Not that there's much variety of footage here, but like, who's gonna be able to tell the difference? How much damage do I need to do is the question. Like, how much damage and how much time? Like, I feel like I'm doing an actual scientific test here or something. This is... Yeah, that's what this is for. This is for science. Come on. How long? Let the pain end. No, this bit is actually, it's emotionally significant. It's representative of James's fugue state. He's trapped in a cycle of guilt, just as I'm trapped running around the edges of this room. Who agrees? I think, yeah, that's one of the things, like, one of the problems. Is that it? Did I do it? Yes! Easy. They committed suicide because I got bored. That is what I'm talking about. Holy crap. Looks like he's holding something rust-colored egg. Scarlet egg. Okay. Okay, hang on. No, I just gotta... my wrists and fingers are actually, like, all seized up. So, like, just give me a second. Don't, like, bleed to death or something, James, please, for the love of God. Okay. Here's the problem. I used all of my healing items, and I have no health, and I have no rifle ammo left. So all I have is crummy shotgun ammo. So I'm quite afraid of the fact that I'm going to be completely and utterly destroyed by the final boss. But, you know, I had a good run, I think. I had a good run. Maybe off of stream, if I can't beat the final boss, I'll try and do the cheese method. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So here we are. Alas, if only this was the end of the gameplay segment, but the pain continues.
Mary?
What do you want, James?
I brought you some flowers.
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
There might be one or two
Mary,
pickups,
what are you
but probably
saying?
not.
Look, I'm disgusting. I don't deserve flowers. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here! Leave me alone already! I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It'd be easier if they'd just kill me. But I guess the hospital is making a nice profit off me. They want to keep me alive. Are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf? Don't come back. James, wait.
Okay. Almost there. Does it say exactly? No, there's no map of actually where we are. Nothing specific. Can't go down here. I can't go further around that way. Yeah, I don't even know if there is a pickup, to be perfectly honest with you. It's kind of hoping to finish this, but hard difficulty, much harder than I expected. Though I think it was only hard because the other stuff, the other obstacles that people said were like insurmountable, or really, really hard, I surmounted. But then that actually lived up to its reputation, unfortunately. So, which is a shame. Oh, is there nothing? No. Yeah, no heals, no nothing. Yeah, so maybe I will have to go back and cheese it, I think. So I think the strategy to cheese it is to, like, you sort of position yourself in the corner, and then you sort of, they can't get you for some reason, and you can just keep hitting them with the great knife. So maybe I will try that, because I am literally about to die, and with no opportunity to heal. But let's watch this cutscene and let's get killed.
Mary?
Wrong again. Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? Maria, I'm done with you.
What do you mean? But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad.
Really, you just
That's
did.
what you wanted.
Now I understand. The problem is, you're not Mary.
No, James. I won't let you. I'll never let you have your Mary back.
So yeah, I'm basically screwed. Get out of here. Yep, one attack, that was all it took, so there wasn't even any point in saving it. I'll see if I can, if there is. I'll see if I can cheese that. If you guys are, yeah. It was a good run. Yeah, he got his exercise. Um, okay. So, right. So someone says basically that it took 124 shotgun shells to kill the Pyramid Head guys. So that's insane. I need to. Okay, so where's the great knife? So we want to use the great knife to get him. Okay. So we're back to what we had before. So we're gonna. I wish there was a video. There doesn't seem to be a video reference. Sadly, would be basically. Oh no, here might be a video here. Sorry for the delay here. I'm just trying to get past this so I can actually finish the game today. It would be nice to finish it, and apologize. It's in a less than glamorous way. So basically, okay. So the idea is, I might not get this the first try, but we've got to go into a corner and swing the great knife. But as he swings it, it's going to bounce off the corner and hit the pyramid heads. So we're going to try that, and we're going to see what happens. So this is theoretically the way to cheese it. Oh, am I using the wrong attack animation? Maybe I'm not in the corner enough. Hang on. Guys, seriously? Let's equip this. Can I escape from here? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what is this guy? Okay, I need to use the low swinging attack. I probably should have figured out how to use that before I started doing this, but... Is it hold down X? Yes. But it's not quite in the right spot. It should be bouncing off the wall, but I don't think it is. Ahem. Seems to be... I need to get that first hit off, didn't I? Yeah, hang on. Gonna load. Try again. This is basically this. Yeah, I suppose the end of this is no longer strictly an analysis. This is Just me attempting to finish the damn thing on hard. Seriously? Okay, come on. Use it. Swing. Ah! He's not swinging the damn thing. That was slightly more promising. Aye. Maybe I won't be able to get this anyway. So, hang on, let me watch this video one more time. This is a terrible ending to the stream. I was hoping it would be more concrete. Something a bit more exciting, a bit more fun, and I'd get to do some more analysis, but I think that's my own fault for picking hard. Okay, so basically, you want to do run around and just constantly swing like that. Okay. I might turn the in a first, I might turn the music off. There's no option just to toggle it down at the end, is there? I think when you choose a difficulty, it's set in stone. Yeah. So. All right. Yes, that's true. Analysis and gameplay, mechanics and gameplay is just as important as narrative. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. It's the I think it's triggering the attack that I'm struggling with. The actual attack I'm supposed to be using. See, I don't know. Like, it does that, but then why doesn't it? It does it the first time, but then it doesn't do it the next time. Aye. So yeah, we can concretely say my analysis declares that this is a bad fight, poorly designed. Okay, let's grab this. Excuse. Really is brutal that there's no... Because I thought that there were some healing items. Yeah, look good for a moment, eh? I thought that there were some healing items, but... That's what I'm here for. So I think that would slow him down, but it doesn't really seem to do that either. Come on. That was it. That's it there, that's it. No. Wrong one, you idiot. Come on, come on. Open your inventory. Okay. Okay. That was much less painful. Okay. Just gonna see if there's any recommended strategy for this final fight. Okay. Well, at any rate, we did that, and we've still got a couple of healing items left, which is a much better outcome, and we've got all of our almost all of our rifle shots left this time too. Okay. Take his Pyramid Head's eggs. Last time Pyramid Head committed suicide because he got bored. This time he committed suicide because I cheated. But is it really cheating if the boss is annoying? It's so funny how difficulty warps and changes one's experience of a game, especially if the difficulty isn't very good. Because like on normal, that was like the perfectly paced fight with the perfect level of difficulty. But on hard, it was just insidious
Mary?
and a bit insipid.
What do you want, James?
I brought you some flowers.
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Mary, what are you saying?
Look, I'm disgusting. I don't deserve flowers. Between the disease.
I have a feeling I keep missing a save point that's supposed to be out in that hallway, but since this is the PC version, oh wait, can we not? See, I thought there was a save point somewhere out here. Yeah, I have a feeling it's probably sadly just they didn't test that enough. Like it was probably thoroughly play tested on normal and easy, and then they just they play through most of it on hard, and they're like, yeah, that seems fine. See, there's nothing here, is there? No save point. I thought there was, but it turns out I can't save here anyway, sadly. I finished the boss fight like this. See, I don't think that would work. Yep, not great, is it? So yeah, the question is here, what's the strategy here? I mean, like she's way too fast on hard. Still, yeah, I'm still quite troubled by this. That's got such a long reach as well. There's got to be any strategies you can find online for me that would be helpful. Because yeah, I sort of had been hoping this was a bit less painful, you know. I do. One thing to note is that yeah, the method of death is strangulation, which is rather apt for someone who used a pillow to suffocate Mary. Still my last health thing already. I'm dead, I think. I think I'm dead. Is that on hard difficulty? Because I know you can do that on normal. I know you can do that on easy. But can you do it on hard? Because if that's the case, then well, I have more than enough practice doing that. Because I can run around till the 2:33 mark. So we'll do the 5-minute running and we'll see if that kills the boss, alright? Because I don't think I have enough. I just don't have enough resources to fight her. No, like if Pyramid Head was like took that long, like that had to be more than 20-30 minutes. Then I have no idea why. I mean, I'd like to hope that it's just a 5 minutes worth of running around, because again, you sort of stalemate the boss, right? Spam pistol shots. Okay. I kind of want to try the run method first, just in case, but I'm just waiting back to hear if the hard difficulty is 5 minutes or not, because it probably is not, but I'd like to hope. But otherwise, I'll try pistol instead. This has turned into a real challenge, like. I think hard difficulty, maybe if I wasn't streaming, that might have been a smarter decision, I think. As like a challenge run for myself, or like I should have done at least one hard playthrough before I streamed it, I think, so I actually knew what I was in for a bit more. That's my mistake, I think. I still really enjoyed the analysis and that dialogue that you get before, like from Maria/Mary, like in one ending. It turns out in James's mind that actually is Maria talking, so the boss is Mary. But in this version, you can tell definitely that it's Maria is the boss. So it's interesting again how these sort of multifaceted endings. Nothing about it changing on hard mode? Okay, well, we're coming up on 5 minutes soon. I'm hopeful here. I'm hopeful because I know it's kind of an anticlimactic ending, but I also don't want to die ingloriously and have to do the Pyramid Head shit again. Like, I know I can do it. It's just fiddly and annoying, and I'd like to put a pin on this playthrough, if possible. And I think I will definitely stream this game again, but probably not on hard. Or if I do it on hard, at least then I'll I'll know what I'm in for, and I have some strategies that I can use to deal with it. But I'd like to resolve this one and tick it off because my list of games that I'm currently playing on stream is too long, because I've got Silent Hill 3 is still also ongoing. Pathologic Classic HD is also ongoing. And Crash Bandicoot 1 is also ongoing. I need to pick up and finish all 3 of those. So I'd like to finish at least one of those before I start anything new. And I was hoping that today I'd be able to tick this one off. So I mean, hopefully. After Silent Hill 2, I would like to finish Silent Hill 3, but again, I might run into the same problem. Silent Hill 3, I'm doing even worse for supplies. I'm doing much worse for supplies in Silent Hill 3. So I'll see if I can finish that on hard. Otherwise, I will finish Pathologic Classic HD, definitely, the bachelor's route there. Crash Bandicoot, maybe I'll pick that up again at some point. I'd like to finish it, but it won't be a whole streaming session's worth of stuff. I just have to go back and finish a few levels. So maybe I could also do that today, depending on if I can actually beat this boss or not. I say beat, but I'm just running around in circles. Otherwise, yeah, what else is on? I've written a list underneath. It's in my about me page, so it depends what. I was still thinking of streaming Amnesia Rebirth as an actual blind playthrough, but I'm not sure if, because the focus of my channel, of this channel, was meant to be games I've already played through, and that I can analyze as a somewhat authoritative source rather than just speculating about what's going to happen next. I'm not sure whether a blind playthrough is actually what I want out of the channel. You know, I don't know. Would you be interested in watching a blind playthrough from me, or because personally I feel like my forte is in the analytical part. So while it could be interesting to attempt an analysis of something completely blind, I think it would be missing a lot of pieces. You know, I'm gonna check myself actually. If you can wait, Maria out here. So, yes, well, the end of it has sort of felt a bit blind here. I've sort of, even though I've done my research as well, I sort of was I really considered what difficulty I was going to play this on, and it turns out that I was sort of there are sort of four points at which the game becomes really hard, right? So the first test is that first Pyramid Head fight in the apartments, which I finished really easily. So I was like, oh, well, that was nice. And then the second one was the Pyramid Head chase scene in the basement of the hospital. I also finished that pretty easily. And then the other 2 points were the double Pyramid Head fight and this final boss fight. Hmm. Hmm. So I think the failsafe might actually be if there's no ammo left. So I think like that's where the failsafe comes from. So I mean, I could try and waste all my bullets, but I'm still in the boss fight situation. It's the annoying thing. So yeah, I guess I'll die. So what I can do? So I got to beat Pyramid Head one more time, don't I? God, this is going to be the most horrible thing to watch back and just look at all of my my various mistakes. Yep. I almost was getting a rhythm going there. Oh, not right. Not right either. I know I can do it. Not if you do that, James. Come on. Deeply frustrating because it's not consistent. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so I'm getting better at this bit now. Okay. Whew. Alrighty. So, what I am wondering, can I go back out here and save the game again? Yeah. I think that's what I should be doing. Yeah, I'm getting better at this. Which is what I want to be doing, because I would love to stream. I don't know if you remember me talking about the 10-star run at some point where you sort of do everything that the developers intend for you to do. So that kind of practice is indeed what I need to get the 10-star run. Oops. Or even just to speedrun it. Maybe I'm crazy enough to do speedruns on hard. I don't know. It could be kind of a fun thing to try. Make it sort of a category of my own. Not that I'd be the best, because I know that there are crazy people. I saved, right? Like, I'm not going crazy. I saved, so. Yeah, so the 10-star run,
Mary?
basically a lot
What
of
do you want, James?
a lot of crazy requirements. So like you have to
brought you some
kill
flowers.
150 enemies. So you basically have to
One of
grind
you
it out
damn
on the
flowers. Just go home already.
on the
Mary, what
dark
are you
streets.
saying?
Look, I'm disgusting.
And you
I don't
also have to
deserve
avoid
flowers. Between the disease and the drugs.
so 500 damage is the other thing. Okay. So what I'm gonna try first the no ammo. I'm gonna try the no ammo trick first. And just be like, take pity on me, developers. I don't know how to play your game anymore. So yeah, I think 10-star run is 75 enemies killed by fighting, 75 enemies killed by shooting. Complete the game in under 3 hours. Save the game less than 2 times. don't die more than once, or more than twice, but I think that's one of the stipulations. You have to row the boat in under 100 seconds. What else? You have to have got all the other endings, and you have to be playing on the hardest difficulty. So it's like pretty crazy requirements. So you got to do that all in the 3 hours, which is relatively insane. Yeah, which is why practice, I think, is required. Not sure why that emoji appeared broken on the screen there. That's strange. The last hour of this has just been like peak gameplay. I don't know. It's not broken there, so yeah. Okay. I got so many shotgun bullets to waste. I am so sorry. This is so boring. This really is something I shouldn't have been doing on stream, but I think James, he's just given up at this point. He's mentally checked out. He's pretty done with things. It's like, why am I doing this? I don't know. What reason do I have left to continue? I'm really hoping as well that we get the ending that I was going for, but like any ending that we get now, no matter how emotional it is, will seem kind of weird when we consider what we've been doing for like the last hour of gameplay, which is effectively nothing. Doing the same boss fight over and over again, running around in circles. Yeah, it's a sad and slow process, but I'm getting there. Does the no backseating tag make sense? Is like no backseating unless I ask for it? Is that something I can specify? Or just like the no backseating, is that like, will that turn people away from engaging? I don't know. How many bullets I got left? Oh my god. Would have had better luck doing this, wasting all my ammo on Pyramid Head at this point. So many. Okay, is this? Yeah, cool. Just wanted to be sure. Yeah, so here's the other things I have on my games to play. So Resident Evil 0, so that'll be a blind playthrough. Amnesia Rebirth, that would be blind. I was thinking of, so I've got Silent Hill 3/4 speedruns, but I think I'd include 2 on there, but 3 is the one I really want to speedrun the most. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun speedrunning 3. And then I've got Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, so the original one, and the RE remake of Resident Evil 3. And then I've got, I was thinking of streaming Resident Evil 4 plus the like expansion thing separate ways. But I'm like, those are not high on my priority list. Then I was considering in terms of other horror games, I've got Yuki Onna, which is like a first-person sort of jump scare game. There's not much to analyze in that, but I thought it might be a like just a fun sort of like side project kind of thing. Just like pick it up once, play it, even if I don't finish it, like doesn't matter. Then there's another glass staircase, which is made by Puppet Combo. So I think that's meant to be Silent Hill inspired, at least in some way. Then I did want to play some non-horror games, or at least games that streaming would give me an excuse to play. So the original Tekken Tag Tournament, I wanted to see if I could stream that because I'm quite fond of it. Then I wanted to play the original Age of Empires Definitive Edition. So Age of Empires 1, like remastered, because I've been meaning to play through that but haven't had any excuse. Then, yeah, I was thinking of streaming, and then I wanted to stream Pathologic 2. I mean, people have been requesting that for a while, so I think Pathologic 2 is the one people most want to see me play. So I think after I finish Classic HD, I'll just add that to the pile of things to play. But to be honest, yeah, like it's requested, and I think I'll do it. But I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna say and analyze in that one, considering most of the things I want to talk about in 2, to be honest, I've sort of mostly covered in Classic HD, because I mean, you've been there, you've sort of witnessed as I follow along with that kind of thing, like I compare the two alongside each other. So I don't know, it'll be interesting for me to come up with stuff to do, I guess. This is honestly just like, this is gonna put me to sleep, I think. I still don't think I can. No, I can't save, so I better get this right, basically. You can tell. I hope you can tell just how desperately I want to tick this stuff off. Love to see me play Pathologic 2 as well. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to cave to the pressure. Yeah. No, I am in some sense looking forward to it. You know, like it's not something that like I'd be like, oh god, you know, like I'd hate to play through that again, because like Pathologic 2 also one of my favorite games. It's just my concern that like I want to play when I make stuff and when I stream stuff. I feel like I want to have stuff to say, you know, or like I want interesting things to be happening, and this is like the antithesis of that in my entire like reason for streaming currently. There's like nothing exciting or engaging about this other than like maybe morbid curiosity. Yeah, I don't know. It will be good. Like I'm doing this for me, to be honest. Japanese horror. This is a Japanese-made horror game. One of the best. I love J horror in general. To be honest, most of the horror games I play are in some way Japanese inspired. Because I find it's in some ways it's a bit more psychological. Especially it's more psychological than American horror. Which is often action slock sometimes, but yeah. If you have any recommendations, I'd be very happy to look them up and try them, because I'm always looking for more recommendations. If you played anything or even watched or read anything interesting, if it's psychological is really one of my main criteria for enjoying a horror game. I've got to be honest. You got to think James has got to be a pretty good shot by now. James is just like practicing before the final boss. Just like, oh yeah, I know things are gonna get dangerous, so I just got to practice. So everything I've read and seen indicates that this trick does indeed work on hard. So I hope that the internet does not steer me wrong. So we don't have any ammo left. Can confirm no ammo. Okay. So basically all I have to do is survive for hopefully just 5 minutes, and it will end. I think on this playthrough, or at least the end of this playthrough, we collectively have suffered enough. Okay, so it's just an idea, but you could just analyze specific moments of Pathologic 2 instead of a full playthrough. That is an idea I actually like a lot, considering I have way too many save games of Pathologic from just all over the place. That could be less taxing on both my schedule and my analysis. I could try and plot out like a route or something, I guess, of things. That could be interesting, actually. Like, you know, I could play through the whole first day or something, or even just analyze the way the tutorial works, and as like an opposite of Pathologic Classics tutorial, as in it didn't really have one, just like two people spouting stuff at you. What did you think of the tutorial in Pathologic 2? I thought it was really quite clever. That the way it presented it as sort of these surreal, like vignettes, basically, like all these different scenes, sort of manifested themselves in different ways, all teaching you different lessons. I thought it was cool. How you're sort of already absorbed into the way of thinking and the culture of the town. Yeah, I just thought it was cool. Whereas, yeah, in the other one, you're sort of just dumped. The executors like tell you like a few things, but which I guess is its own kind of fun, right? It depends if you want to be really dumped in the deep end, or just like dumped, like chucked in the middle of the pool, but not the deep end, you know. And for me, I like to be chucked in the deep end, but I think there's something to be said. Something to be said for a good setup, you know, and Pathologic 2 does a good setup. That was close, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that is the intention. You're sort of like that fake out moment, right? Like where you think you're home, like you get off the train and you go around the house and like you sort of hear all these ghostly voices laughing at you as you like search through the drawers and stuff, because it's all not real, you know. That bit's particularly clever, isn't it? So confusing, but teaching you gameplay at the same time. Really is. They did the gameplay rhythm of Pathologic 2 is just in general a lot more refined than the originals. But that, like, even so, like, maybe it's just my stubbornness and my love of just like the first one I played. The older ones are the better ones. But I do still slightly prefer the originals. But I think it might just be the atmosphere, the vibe, you know, that it gives off. Pathologic 2 does something different, and it's very good at what it does, but it does do something different, and I don't think anyone can argue that. Yeah. So I'm interested about this space as well in Silent Hill 2. Like, this area, like, there's no indication of exactly where we are. Like, we can assume we're at the top of the hotel. But, like, was it, like, a large, like, dining room, like a banquet room? Or is it, like... Or is it the representation of, I don't know, maybe even Mary's hospital room, just with, like, the one bed? Or I don't know, this sort of this desolate. It's like this really desolate space, and it does a lot with very little. It's a good boss arena, and it sort of reinforces just these really monotone colors, and the fact that it's got the bed there as a prop really is very cool. I don't know. It's Silent Hill 2 impresses me just thinking about it. All these different techniques that it uses, or everything feels considered, even if maybe it's not necessarily considered. It all works. Like it works together in concert to create an experience that's larger than the sum of its parts, and will always, I think, always hold me in its grasp. I will always be interested in Silent Hill in general. I don't think there's anything that could turn me away from it. It's just because what it does so well, right, is the fusion between the gameplay and the story. Like the monsters are characters like Fears given life, and while that can be like really too obvious, or like hammered home for no reason, you sort of do get the sense that that like most of the time it really works because we have monsters all of a sudden that aren't just monsters. They mean something, they represent something, which is why I think Silent Hill is one of the perfect video game settings, because you have an excuse to sort of dive into the character's mind a bit.
James.
Yeah, don't worry, that shit scared me as well. That was an unexpected jump scare. I thought I was going to be running around for like another 10 minutes.
James.
This bit here's probably the creepiest bit in the game. Just all she can do is say James. Here we go. I did it. The end. How legit. Fairly lame, and I apologize.
Mary?
Oh, crap. I skipped it. My bad. Anyway.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
So I got the good ending, I think, actually, which isn't the ending I wanted to
You
get.
promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place,
Can't believe it. I was trying to turn the music on and I skipped the whole
waiting for
cutscene.
you.
What an end. What an end to this disaster of a stream.
Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die. I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy.
It still gets me as well every time. She did that in one take as well. Such a good voice actor. It's such a good way to end. I know, yeah. It wasn't the most glorious or glamorous ending to the game. Me just running around in circles. It was quite sad, to be honest, that I had to end my playthrough on stream of this. One of my favorite games ever made. Some days it is my favorite game ever made. It's a shame I had to end it like that. So I got the best ending. So the first ending I ever got was the in-water ending, in which James commits suicide. And I find that one, while it's very sad, I find that one slightly more fitting for the way that James generally, or how I get James to act in the game, I suppose. I find, yeah, so he drives into the lake and kills himself in the end after everything he's seen, and that sort of ties everything together for me in terms of the water motif that just sort of got to him. And to get that ending, you have to act in a suicidal manner. So like reading other people's suicide notes and staring at the knife and showing like no regard for your own life, so not healing yourself and that kind of thing. So I kind of thought for a while there that actually that would be the ending that I got, the in water one again for the stream. Um, there's another ending, the Maria ending, which you have to protect Maria, which I and like constantly check in on her, which I didn't really do. So it's no surprise I didn't get that one. So the leave ending, yeah, James leaves and can sort of move on with his life, and you can see that Laura's fine as well, at least ostensibly. Though I don't really know if some people say that James is going to adopt her, but I really don't think that's a very good idea. Um, but that, yeah, it's a beautiful ending. It's a shame that Hard ruined the flow of this stream a bit, because it was brilliant. Like hard difficulty was brilliant, right up until that double pyramid head boss fight, where I think everything just crashed and burned really, and it ruined. It sort of ruined what I'd been hoping to finish about an hour quicker, even. That really was brutal. So I'm glad that they included that option to, if you don't have any ammo, that the boss will just kill themselves, as a fail safe. Because I think that they did that in the first one and the second one, but they didn't do that in the third one, which is what I'm particularly worried about from my Silent Hill 3 stream. But yeah, that's Silent Hill 2. Sorry I had to end on a lackluster note. I will definitely return, and analyze it more, or do speed runs or other streams of it in general. But I've got plans for videos to make on this game, and now I've got a lot of footage to draw from. So that's great. I'm really just excited for I guess the future of what I can do. Thank you, pretty well regardless. It's yeah the I took a lot more damage than I was hoping to take, but I guess it was my first hard mode playthrough, so I still got, what's that, 52 points, so 5 big stars and 2 little ones. So I was just above average, I think. Um, but you can see, for the purposes of the stream, I saved 51 times, which sunk my thing a lot. And I need to get more stars. I need to clear more endings on this PC. And actually, I don't know if walking and running distance actually factors into the 10-star run, whether it's like lots of walking or less walking. But yeah, that's that anyway. You, it feels good. What I so I should probably save that for another day. There's the other little expansion, but that takes about another hour. The spawn from a wish thing, which is very cool in and of itself too. Um, but I don't know if I want to start that now because yeah, I have the don't know if I have the energy. No, I probably should. Probably should take a break, I think. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it through the absolute pain and suffering that was the double pyramid head boss fight and the Maria boss fight. I'm hoping that yes, next time, so my next stream will be either. So I'll probably come back. I'll do this Born from a Wish scenario, I reckon, and then I'll either jump into Silent Hill 3 from there, or I'll jump into Pathologic from there, I think. So, thank you again for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Sorry I couldn't end with some more solid analysis. Maybe next time I'll have some more things to say, I think. Have a good one. Stay safe.